everyone, and welcome to today's edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy here, and on today's show in just a bit, we'll have Jared Keene and Andy Barron joining us to make our weekly NFL picks and to talk about some of the other local sports happenings. But first, here is a look at the latest Hopkinton Hillers fall sports highlights. On Friday, October 15th, Hiller girls soccer took on Medfield. Medfield netted a goal a little less than 5 minutes into the second half.
It down, Barton closing in, puts on a move, looking for a shot, and it's in! A goal for Medfield, they'll strike first. A beauty by Caitlin Barton.
Caitlin Barton, that's the only goal of the game for Medfield as they take the win 1-0. Medfield improves to 9-2-3 on the season. Hillers fall to 9-5-0. Hiller girls volleyball took on Norwood. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy on the call.
Meg checks in. KD leaves. 2 points away from taking this first set. Oh,
wow,
good serve from Meg.
That was wide open.
Girls are going to get another free ball here. See if they set it up. KP, it's going right back to her. Short set.
Short set, yeah.
There you go.
Boom. Great way to end that set.
Hopkins takes the first set 25-14. And we're at match point. Sam, good serve down the line.
Ooh,
That's it. That was a
it.
touch there from Fitzgerald. So Hopkinton takes the third set 25-12.
Hillers take the win via sweep 3-0. Hiller girls volleyball also earned a sweep over Bishop Feehan on the road this past Monday. Hiller girls volleyball improves to 16-0 on the season and captures their 14th sweep of the season. 1-4, Hillers football battled 0-5 Medfield on Friday, October 15th. On their opening drive, the Hillers put together a great drive.
Line it up out of the gun. Back to his right is Karatza. Right, Stevens behind Lisher. Takes the snap, looks to his left, under pressure. Rolls to his left, throws over to Karatza, up the near side, and he breaks free. 30, 40, midfield at the Medfield 30, 25, and he's brought down. A huge gain for Joe Karatza. Lisher gonna line it up out of the gun. Karatza to his right, takes it up the middle himself into the end zone, and good for a Hillers touchdown. A 2-yard keeper by Robert Lisher.
6-0 Hillers after a missed extra point. They get the ball back after forcing a punt, then this happens.
And it's going to be a direct snap. Up the far side he goes, breaking tackles into Medfield territory. The 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. He could go all the way in. He's in. Touchdown, Hillers! A 70-yard touchdown run by Joseph Karatza.
A 70-yard touchdown run by Joseph Karatza with 4:19 left in the first quarter. Here's what happened to Medfield on the following drive.
Asapitas takes the snap, backpedals, throws upfield a wobbly pass as he was under pressure, and it's picked off. Intercepted.
An interception pulled in by Paul Litcher. Hillers strike again early in the second quarter.
Other side takes the snap, looks upfield, looks to his right, throws to his right, has a target. It's caught, Seamus Murphy, and he's off. The 30, the 20, the 10. See you later. Touchdown, Hillers. Seamus Murphy, an 81-yard touchdown reception.
An 81-yard touchdown connection between Robert Litcher and Seamus Murphy, but Medfield would strike back.
Line it up out of the gun with a back to either side. Two receivers spread out to his right, takes the snap, throws up the middle, has a target, hauled in at the 35. Here goes Will Griffin into Hillers territory, 30, 20, 10, and that's an 80-yard touchdown reception for Medfield. Peters going to line it up out of the gun, back to pass, looking upfield to his right, and it is going to be caught, and it's a touchdown. A 13-yard touchdown reception by Peters, and it was Cole Cloney pulling it down.
After a pair of touchdowns by Medfield, the Hillers struck back late in the second quarter.
Three receivers spread out to his left. He'll roll to his left. Under pressure, gets rid of it. Up the left side, and it's caught! Wyatt Stevens with the catch, and he's into the end zone. A 44-yard touchdown reception by the junior Wyatt Stevens. Takes the snap, backpedals. Under pressure, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield by Justin Sokol. A big-time sack there by Sokol. And at this point, Medfield just going to let the clock run out, and that will do it for the first half.
After a scoreless third quarter, Medfield struck for a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Under pressure. Throws up the sideline, has a target. It's caught by Jack Sullivan. To his right, there's Max O'Brien. Back to pass, throws to his right, and was that caught? And it's a touchdown.
The touchdown and a successful two-point conversion makes it a 27-21 game. Medfield driving in the final minutes of the game. Justin Sokol had something to say about that.
Back pedals, looking upfield, under pressure, and he's dragged to the ground by Sokol. Justin Sokol, his second sack of the game. Takes the snap, looks to his left, in trouble, and he's brought down again, and it's Sokol again. Justin Sokol, his second straight sack, and it's a turnover on downs. And it's going to be a direct snap to Karatza. He'll take it near side, up the sideline he goes, first down plus some, and he's going to take it to the end zone. How about that? A 28-yard touchdown run for Joe Karatza.
Joe Karatza finds the end zone once again, and the Hillers come away with the 34-21 victory and improved to 2 wins and 4 losses on the season. Hello, everybody, and welcome into this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. And joining me right now, we have Andy Barron from MyFM 101.3 and Jared Keene from the Metrowest Daily News. Guys, how are you?
Good, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing good, Tom. You seem like you and Jared had a pretty interesting weekend. You both went to different games.
Yeah. Jared, you went to the Bruins game. How was that experience?
That was a lot of fun. That was a great time. My girlfriend's boss, hooked her up with some nice tickets and had some nice seats. A few rows up from the Bruins bench. Just a great experience. A lot of people there, fun environment, and got to see him take down a Sharks team. So, gotta love when you get a dub there too. So
that is good stuff. How are the Bruins doing? I haven't even really watched them yet.
I think we're 3-1 right now. But they look pretty good. They came out firing. I mean, Marchand scored 25 seconds into the game. They were really laying it on, and then again, kind of a nervy last 5 minutes, but they look pretty good. They look good.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they should be right back in the mix. They pretty much kept the same team, so I think they'll be pretty competitive.
A few changes though. I mean, obviously some goaltending changes this year. With Linus Ullmark in net now, he's been pretty good. Obviously a couple of changes on the forward lines. A couple of guys were out the other day too. So a couple of guys stepped up. Jack Stanika got called up because Craig Smith was out, and he played pretty well. And they look pretty good. They did again. Gave up a couple goals in the last few minutes to make it a little nervy, but walked out of there with a couple points. That's nice.
That's all that matters. We'll certainly get into some Bruins down the road too. Long season ahead of us for the NHL. And we'll get into some Celtics down the road as well. They got a nice win last night. I watched a bit of that. Celtics look pretty good. Today, obviously, we have a lot of football on the show, but Let's start off with some closing thoughts on the Red Sox as they ended up falling to the Houston Astros in that ALCS. I must say, I'm a little disappointed. You go up 2-1, and then you just choke. The bats just they went from being absolutely on fire to not doing anything, and Houston just kicked their butt for the rest of the series and ended up winning the ALCS. It's a little disappointing. Again, I didn't expect them to go this far. I didn't even expect them to make the playoffs. So it was nice to see them have a pretty good run in the playoffs. But with the bats so on fire, hitting 3 grand slams within the first, 3-4 games, you would expect them to put up a little more of a fight than they did in those final 3 games or so of the series. Rough way to end it for them, I would say.
Three runs in 3 games. You're not going to win any games. That's just that simple. The Astros scored 27 runs with 2 outs in this series, which is the most ever in Major League history. Listen, I'm not a mathematician, but those numbers don't really add up for me. That was the issue. The Astros pitching also was better, and they were on fumes after Game 3. Okay, after Bogarts hit the home run in Game 4 to go up 2-1, I thought that was it. Like, no matter what the Astros do, the Red Sox are in a zone, and then it just all slowly started going downhill, and it really started becoming alarming in Game 5 when they just couldn't get anybody out. You can't get runs home. Listen, I think this team flat out just ran out of steam. I think they just, with all the games they've had to play, and just, they overachieved. I mean, I said this a few times on the show, guys. This was not, they're a good team, but they're not a great team. I mean, this team wasn't even better than the 2013 team. I think we all can agree, which I thought was one of their weaker teams of the 4 teams that won. This team's got a lot of work to do, and they got to start, making some decisions here. I mean, one person that comes to my mind, it's Chris Sale, because right now, guys, he's not your ace.
No, I'd like to see him go. I don't think you have a big run next year like you did this year if you keep pretty much the same team. Jared, any thoughts?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it fair to ask, guys, did we jinx this team? Because I'm pretty sure last time we talked about this team, we were talking about how good they were. We were all in on them. We were buying them. And then right after that, they just went downhill.
Yeah, we might have.
Quite fast.
That was it. They were jinxed by HCAM Sports Talk. HCAM Sports Talk ruined the Red Sox season.
There it is.
We apologize, Red Sox fans.
That's my final thoughts right there.
All right.
No, I agree with everything Andy said. I mean, that was a great stat. 27 runs with 2 outs. That's not going to win. If your opponent does that, you're not going to win the series. That's again, it's a team that just, I think, ran out of gas. Andy said it best. I think you guys are probably spot on in saying, did this team overachieve this year? Yes. I can't say I probably expected this team to make as deep of a run as it did. But yeah, obviously some decisions need to be made going forward, and we'll see what happens. But, decent run, ran out of steam. And, again, this is probably cliche to say, but I think obviously, everything that happened in Game 4 changed the whole series. So
really did.
I'm not going to blame that. You can't blame that one Eovaldi pitch. There were other things that happened in that game that lost us that game. And obviously a lot of things that happened in the series that lost us the series.
Yeah, awful umpiring in that game. Awful.
But again, I don't think that necessarily lost us that game. There are other things that could have been done that game that could have potentially won us that game.
And I think another
Go for it.
Managing. Dusty Baker outmanaged Alex Cora. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
He did.
Agreed.
He did. Can you believe this guy has been in baseball since 1968? Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's like a baseball legend almost, really. I mean, he's been around for that long. Listen, whether you like the Astros or not, they're just more talented than we are. I mean, that lineup, I've told you this too, that lineup, if they got going, is deadly. And it showed. They're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out. They
certainly are. And
even when guys like Correa and Bregman aren't hitting, you got guys like Yordan Alvarez who smoked a few. Their lineup is dangerous, man.
What? Jared, Why do they keep pitching to him? I said,
don't
this
know.
guy is on fire. He was smacking.
Insane.
But they didn't even try to make an adjustment. It's like, walk him, put him on base. Don't face him. He's the hot guy right now. Guys like Altuve and Correa, they were a little shaky at times. And then you got Kyle Tucker comes up, bangs a 3-run homer. Listen, I like Alex Cora. He's a good manager, but he got outcoached. He did. He did not make the right moves. And you got to stop wondering too. Well, the Astros getting in his head a little bit because of all the stuff that's happened and then all this other nonsense, like this whistling and all this. I mean, I'm just tired of it. Listen, the better team won, and bottom line, I don't know how the Braves are good, but I don't know if they're better than the Astros. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble.
If the Braves pitching shows up, they can definitely give the Astros a series. But if the Braves pitching does not show up, I think it's the Astros all the way.
I think they're very motivated too, especially after losing the World Series a couple of years ago. Everyone's calling these guys out. I just think they got it going right now. But, this could be a good series. I mean, it's not a World Series I think any of us predicted. The Braves are a good team, and they deserve to be there. I just think the Astros are a little bit better.
Well, speaking of that, for fun, we'll predict what we think is going to happen in the World Series. I'm going to say the Braves take it in 7. And I'm going to say
Tom. I like it.
Wow.
I'm going to say that because
very spicy.
Absolutely. They have the X factor. You know what the X factor is? They want revenge for not being able to host the All-Star game. So that's why I think the Atlanta Braves, they're going to get their revenge on, Menford, the commissioner.
And win the World Series without their best player. That would be pretty crazy.
Right.
And baseball must be loving the fact that you got Houston and Atlanta in the World Series. They must be loving that. But
I'll go Houston in 7. Again, I think there'll probably be a couple of games where the Braves pitching does show up, but I just think ultimately maybe the Astros have a little more talent. I'll go Astros in 7.
I'm going to take Astros in 6. I just think, again, I'm piggybacking up what Jared said. I just think they're a little bit more talented. I think they're a tough out. But don't get me wrong. This Braves team, they are legit. I mean, they earned the right to be there, and it's a good team. And they are tough at home. I mean, it's a sneaky tough place to play down there in Atlanta.
If Eddie Rosario keeps swinging the bat the way he's been swinging it, I mean, again, is there a hotter hitter in baseball right now than Eddie Rosario? The guy's been absolutely insane.
He really has. And Freddie Freeman is very, very good too. This Braves team is good. I mean, and it should be a decent series, but I'm still taking the Astros in 6. I just think it's their year.
Would be interesting to see again if Acuna was in the lineup for the Braves, how this would play out.
Yeah, and the Astros, are they going to get McCullers back?
Yeah.
You know, remember, he didn't play in this series with the Red Sox. Yeah. He comes back. That's even a bigger boost for Houston.
Agreed.
What's crazy is the Braves are only an 88-win team.
They're in the World Series.
And they made the World Series, but they've been red hot all throughout the playoffs.
They
no
have.
one has been able to slow them down. I thought the Dodgers were going to beat them no problem, but
no, we were wrong on that.
I think the Braves caught fire at the right time. And obviously Houston's going to be a very tough out. But that's why I think this series is going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a fun World Series to watch. And I could definitely picture this going 7 games. I think it's going to be
level of interest in watching this World Series.
Not that much. Probably not a lot.
6 out of 10 for me, probably.
Yeah, I would think so, Jared. And here's the other thing too. Atlanta needs to split one in Houston. They can't
definitely
go back down 2-0 because
no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Because you got 3 in a row in Atlanta, but you're automatically going to have to go back to Houston. They have to split. Yep. They have to split.
All I could say is chop on.
First pennant since '99 for the Braves. It's been a long time since they've been in the World Series. I mean, but also too, real quick. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This Braves team is not like that '90s Braves teams.
No team is.
No.
Not even close.
I mean, that team had elite pitching. I don't think you'll ever find many teams that had elite pitching staffs like those Braves teams.
You may never see that again. I mean, that was a different era too. I mean,
last time the Braves have won it all was 95.
95. They beat Cleveland. Yep.
So they are trying to win their first World Series in I'm not going to do math right now, but a long time. 26 years. There we go. 26.
There you go. Yep.
All right. So the Patriots, they absolutely creamed the Jets. I really don't have much to say about that game. It's the Jets. Their starting quarterback got hurt. I went to the game. It was a beautiful day. It was perfect weather. Awesome time. You couldn't beat the weather. But the Patriots, I expected them to win this game. If this game was even close, I was going to be disappointed, especially after blowing that game to Dallas last week. This was a game that you had to win, and you won it in dominant style. The Jets were the Jets, and it was nice to see numerous offensive weapons used. Hunter Henry, third straight touchdown. He's had a touchdown for the last 3 weeks now. Impressive stuff. And Jonnu Smith got in there a little bit. He had, I think, 5 receptions. And Harris looked good running the ball, had a lot of great runs. It was good to see him get back in there after a couple of awful fumbles. It was a good team win, good dominant Patriots win that we all should expect, really, when they're playing a Jets team that's this bad. And that Jets backup quarterback is absolutely awful. And I understand that they have traded for Joe Flacco from Philadelphia. They traded, I believe, a 6th-round pick to get Joe Flacco back.
Sure have.
But the one thing about this Patriots win, it's great they won. It's great it was dominant, but it doesn't change my opinion about this team at all. Go out there and beat a good team. Go out there and get a good win. You go into LA next week, you beat the Chargers. That's a good win. That'll change my opinion. That will immediately put you in the playoff conversation. Right now, you're still not there. You're 3-4. You looked great this week, but you played a really bad team. Go out, go on the road, beat a good team, and then we'll talk. What do you guys think?
Tom, you're absolutely right. 100% right. The one thing that encouraged me, though, is that they dominated the game. That's not something that they've done in a long time. They took care of business from start to finish. And another thing that I liked really, too, is the emergence of Kendrick Bourne. Mac Jones, that was a great throw he made to Kendrick Bourne. These two are on the same page. He's your best receiver right now, and you still got to continue to get him involved. He's running good routes. The running game, as you said, Damian Harris looked really good. J.J. Taylor, I thought, looked good this week because Ramondre Stevenson did not play. I think the O-line played a little bit better. But yeah, it's the Jets. They're awful. They're terrible. I mean, this team is probably not going to win another game the rest of the season. But you did what you had to do. But you're absolutely right. You go in and beat the Chargers this week, this changes the whole season. This Chargers team is head and shoulders above the Jets. It's not even close. But they've had success against this team. They've had success against the Chargers. They're a weird team. Like sometimes they went out there last year. They smacked them right in the mouth. I know it was a little different of a team, but I think they're going to give them a run for their money. I don't know if they're going to win, but I don't know. Just weird things seem to happen when they play the Chargers. And now the Chargers are coming off a bye.
Right.
And they're probably going to be a little ticked off after losing to the Ravens, but the Patriots have given them trouble. But if you get a win here, you're 4-4, then you're going to Carolina, and that team's falling apart. They got Cleveland coming in. They got a lot of issues, and you got a short week. They got Atlanta. I don't think you're beating Tennessee, but you just don't know. But you got to win this Sunday.
Yeah, this is a big one.
It's
and
huge.
That's a good point, too, with all those teams you got coming up that are falling apart. Like Carolina, Atlanta, well, they've been apart for a couple of years now.
Hey, they won this week. I picked them.
They won.
Miami.
They won. Yeah. They got a dub, although they beat a crap Dolphins team. But I still
All
can't
right,
believe we
can you
lose
guess
to,
who the only one of us was to pick Miami?
You.
No.
Kevin? He picked Miami. Oh, God.
He did have a decent week, though. He went 9-4.
That's a good week for him. That's a very encouraging week.
Hey, I picked the Bengals. That was my pick of the week. I mean,
That was a hell of a pick. Great pick.
He still lost a game on me and a couple on you, but he went 9-4. So we're
not
happy.
bad.
As
Not
long as
bad.
he finishes above 500, I think he gets a pass.
Guys, I obviously missed the Pats game, but it seemed like just from the highlights and kind of from what I read and have seen that little trick play action, the Kendrick Bourne to Nelson Aguilar really sparked the team early. Gave him some confidence early. And it sounded like there was some things that we saw or that were seen offensively that we hadn't really seen this year. Kind of a little, some razzle dazzle and just kind of a little bit of better play calling. Again, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I didn't see the game, but
No, I agree with you, and that's a good point because that first drive was kind of coming to a stall. It looked like it was going to end up in a field goal. or actually, no, they were all the way on the other end of the field. But it looked like, well, they were getting close to field goal range, but it looked like a possible field goal. It looked like it was kind of coming to a stall, and then they throw that play in there, and that was a beauty of a play. And don't forget, Kendrick Bourne, he played quarterback, I believe, I know he did in high school, and I believe he did in college as well.
Yeah.
So you might see that a few times. I guess the unfortunate thing is you did it against the Jets, and now all the opponents know you have that play up your sleeve. But that is something that I think they'll utilize because Bourne has a pretty good arm, as you could see from that throw he made. And that was a pretty play, I must say. I'm not the biggest fan of the razzle dazzle because most of the teams that have too much razzle dazzle fall flat on their face. But that was a nice play to get that first score of the game, get your team motivated. I'm sure it pumped them up. So I liked it because you needed a game that you won it dominantly. And that's what you got here. I think they needed to win this dominantly for their confidence. I think they did not want a close game, especially after already beating them in, week 2, 25-6. They beat them pretty dominantly the first go around. So you didn't want to play them again and have a close game. So I like the fact that they did that play, get that first score. I think it's always important to get the first score. It kind of sets the momentum of how the first half is going to go and maybe even the game as a whole. But yeah, that was a good play. All right, boys, I think we're ready to get into the picks, and we'll talk a little bit about these games as we go through them. Let's take a look at the standings. I know everybody has been waiting to see what the standings are. Last week, we all did pretty good. Jared, you were the grand champion last week. You went 11-2. Andy and I and Steve went 10-3. Kevin and Mike went 9-4. So as it sits right now, I am numero uno with a 75-32 record, but you did pick up a game on me, Jared. You're only 2 behind now from taking the crown.
All right.
At 73-34. And then in third place, we got Steve at 68-39. He's 7 games out. Then Mike is 8 games out at 67-40. Andy is 13 games out at 62-45. And Kevin is 22 games out at 53-54. He's almost at 500. Hopefully he could do it this week. He actually said,
got to do it this week.
Yep. So we'll pull up his picks as well. We do have for the show, which is always nice. All right. Thursday night football. What a doozy of a game. This is the kickoff week 8 of the NFL season. Green Bay at Arizona. This is going to be a fun game. Most of the Thursday night games already have been pretty good games. They've all been close. But this game, you got 2 heavy hitters going at it. I think you're going to have a lot of points in this one. Kevin went with Arizona. Andy, who are you going with?
Going with Arizona. I'm just not buying into this Green Bay team. I think they've had just really a bunch of layups the last few weeks. Well, except the Cincinnati game. Arizona is playing at a totally different level right now. How do you stop this offense? I mean, they are clicking on all cylinders. They're tough at home. I think it's going to be a good game. I just think Arizona's got too much.
All right, Jared.
I believe Devontae Adams tested positive for COVID, so I think he's going to be out for the Packers. That's obviously a huge loss. That kills the Packers offense. I've had success picking the Packers recently, but I'm not going to pick against the Cardinals until this team loses. I've been high on the Cardinals all year. I'm taking the Cardinals.
I was going to take Green Bay until you mentioned that Devontae Adams thing because I totally forgot about that.
Come on, man.
I'm very glad that I had you pick first before I did. I'm going Arizona.
It's a huge loss, too.
Devontae Adams thing.
It's a huge loss. He is a major part of that offense. Huge loss.
He pretty much is their offense.
It is. Yeah.
I figured you probably knew that, Tom. That's why I mentioned it. Just throw it in there. I figured you probably had seen that.
Well, that's something I should know, but I even read it on Fantasy Football and didn't think anything of it, and it just totally slipped my mind.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm a scatterbrain. All right, we're all on the Arizona train, and we're getting into the 1:00 games on Sunday. Bengals at Jets. Is anyone going to go Jets here?
No, Bengals by 1,000.
No, the Bengals are legit. I never thought I would ever say that. This team is clicking on all cylinders. The Jets are a disaster. I don't know how they have any chance to win this game. Like, how are they going to stop this team? They just gave up 54 to the Patriots. The Bengals offense is better than the Patriots. Okay.
Well,
Bengals-
the Jets have Joe Flacco now.
Is he starting?
Probably.
I'd probably start him ahead of Mike White.
I mean, does that give them a better chance? I mean, probably, but I still don't.
Slightly, maybe.
I would like to publicly acknowledge Andy's fantastic pick this past weekend of the Bills. I was obviously wrong there. That was one of my losses, but Andy, well done this past weekend, sir.
Hey,
that was a good pick.
Do you believe they could possibly be playing for the number 1 seed? It's just hard to even fathom.
They didn't just beat Baltimore. They beat the bag
them
out of
over.
Baltimore. That was impressive.
Yeah, no, the Jets have no shot. They're going to get blown out in this game. I'd be stunned if they lost.
It might actually be 100-0. Legitimately might be 100-0.
Yeah, no, this is going to be an ugly game. They're too good.
Bengals are absolutely for real. They are going to be fighting all season for the AFC North. It's going to be between them and Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh's going to fall off.
That Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase connection is lethal. Lethal.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal. It's just unreal, man. Wow.
They're doing it just like they did it in college. Tennessee at Indianapolis. I'm going Titans on this one. They are just a powerhouse right now that doesn't seem like they can be stopped. Kevin's going Titans too. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but he did go Bengals.
I figured he would. We hope he would.
Right? Well, you never know with him. Andy, who are you going with?
Tennessee, they've really seemed to rebound after that disastrous loss to the Jets. I mean, they ran over Kansas City this week. I mean, I don't know how you stop this. How do you stop Derrick Henry? Seriously. I mean, the Colts are playing better, but Tennessee's just a better team. I mean,
well, as they say, you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them.
Yeah. No, I like Tennessee in this one.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go Tennessee here. Again, like you said, like Andy said, the Colts are playing better. They got a nice win the other night against the 49ers, but I'm not really too high on the 49ers right now either. So, the Colts are playing better, but, again, it's still crazy. How did this Tennessee team lose to the Jets?
I know. I ask myself that every day. And it's ridiculous. They lost me some pools, okay?
I know, Tom. I know. But AJ Brown is a legitimate receiver. This guy is really, really good, man. I mean, again, Julio Jones, my guy, been banged up a little bit this year. AJ Brown has stepped up. This guy is a stud. He's an absolute animal. And people forget that Tannehill can throw the ball still. Obviously Derrick Henry sets the tone because, the run game has helped open up the pass game a little bit, and Tannehill can sling it a little bit. And obviously AJ Brown has been a really good target recently. I'm going Tennessee here.
You think the Dolphins would like to have Ryan Tannehill back?
You bet your ass they would.
Well, when Tannehill was in Miami, I feel like he didn't really have receivers that he could open up the pass game to. AJ Brown.
It's in a better situation. I mean,
definitely.
It's amazing what happens when you give a guy some weapons.
Yeah.
So Tennessee across the board. And yes, I ask myself, they hold Kansas City to 3 points, but they lost to the Jets.
Unreal,
man. Yeah.
I get, any given Sunday, I guess, right?
Please tell me Kevin took Tennessee here.
He did.
Okay.
All right. Rams at the Texans. Kevin took the Rams. Is anyone going to dare to take the Texans?
No, not a chance.
5 points they scored against. I mean, this team is an embarrassment.
Disaster.
How you could start a backup quarterback for the Rams, they're still going to beat the Texans. That Rams offense is ridiculous.
Cooper Kupp, I know we talk about him every week, but Cooper Kupp is he's
unreal. I've never seen anybody like him.
I think I could start for the Rams and we'd still beat the Texans.
The Rams. No, this is going to be this game probably will be over in the first quarter. I mean,
yeah, I think the Rams are going to rout them.
Oh yeah.
All right, Pittsburgh.
Please tell me Kevin took the Rams as well.
He did.
Okay, excellent.
You listen. I say it right at the beginning.
Okay.
Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Did Kevin pick this one? Oh, he did. He picked Cleveland. All right. I'm taking Pittsburgh because I think Cleveland has fallen apart a little bit. You still don't know if Mayfield's going to be back this week. And even if he is, he's not going to be 100% healthy. And that offense, they are having a tough time lately. I think this will probably be a close game since the Steelers have kind of had a hard time lately, but they're just off a bye. So I think they'll be more ready to go. Well, Cleveland's still pretty beat up. So give me Pittsburgh on this one. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to go Pittsburgh here. Again, I think Cleveland is still a little banged up. I think Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are both out, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one of them is out, maybe both. I know they had that backup that came in last week and actually played well. I forget his name, Johnson or something. But yeah, I mean, this is a weird game. I can see this again kind of being a weird, low-scoring 17-13, bang 'em up type of game. I'm going to go Pittsburgh here.
I feel like something weird is going to happen in this game. It'll be like 18-11 or something. Andy, who are you going with?
I'm actually going to take Cleveland here only because Case Keenum's not bad. He's not a bad backup. I can't really buy into the Steelers. They're not the Steelers of old. And I know the Browns are banged up, but it's at home. And I think they're going to just edge this out. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be kind of an ugly game. I don't know. It really could go either way. But I'm going to take the Browns.
All right. You are in for the Browns. So we got 2 for Pittsburgh, 2 for Cleveland.
I should take the Browns here, Tom. I should switch it up right now just to try to get a game on you here. And I wouldn't feel bad about that, but I'll stick with my Pittsburgh.
Or you could lose a game.
I could lose a game. I could.
It could be a tie, and then,
Go with your brain, not your heart. All right. Philadelphia at Detroit. Man, Detroit.
What a disaster.
They've had a lot of close games. I just don't think they're capable of winning. So I'm going to go Philadelphia here. Kevin also went Philly. Andy, who you going with?
I'm going with Detroit.
Nice.
Here's why.
Awesome.
I think the Eagles are a disaster. That team is terrible. If the Lions are going to win, it's going to be this week because they're at home. This Eagles team is reeling. This might be their best chance to get a win. Or maybe Thanksgiving when they play Chicago. But, the Lions do play hard. They did give the Rams a game. Let's be honest. I was surprised. They gave the Rams a game. But I think they're going to pull it out this week. I think they're finally going to get that win this week. I'm going with the Lions.
Does Detroit have the Jets on the schedule by any chance?
I don't think so. No.
Jared, who are you going with?
Andy has convinced me to take the Lions. The Eagles are a disaster, and I think Miles Sanders is out. I think Miles Sanders got injured this past game. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be out this past week or this week. Andy's right. If the Lions are going to win, this is the week.
Oh, that's right. I got Boston Scott because of that.
Tom, if I lose a game on you here, so be it. But I'm going with the Lions. Chalk up their W here. This the Eagles are a mess.
This isn't a bad one to pick the Lions. I think Philly, they've looked great in some weeks, like against Dallas a few weeks ago. They looked awful last week against the Raiders, but they're so up and down. Detroit, at least, is kind of more steady. They've been competitive most games. They're actually competitive against the Rams this past week. They can't find a way to win. I think the game comes down to a field goal and Detroit misses it.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, man.
The Lions. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
All right, 49ers at the Bears. Kevin went with the Bears. I'm going with the Bears, too. 49ers are a train wreck mess. Give me the Bears on this one. Jared, who are you going with?
I'm going to my Hamilton card here. This game is a disaster. I think both these teams stink, man. I'm not high on the 49ers right now. I'm not high on the Bears right now. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm just going to use my tie card here, whatever.
All right, well, pick a team. Andy, who are you going with?
Pick a team. All right, I'll go with the Bears.
All right,
Hamilton card / Bears, sure.
All right.
Andy. I'm taking Chicago. How can anybody, I'm listening to a lot of talk shows this week, and people are still saying that, Kyle Shanahan's job seems secure. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy cannot stop talking. Jimmy Garoppolo is a disaster. What is this team doing? Like, seriously. And the Bears got embarrassed by the Buccaneers, but they're just a better team. But this is going to be a bad game. But I am going with Chicago by default.
Well, I guess Kraft's move of getting rid of Garoppolo worked out.
It did. Yeah.
I'd rather have Mac Jones right now than Jimmy G. Sorry.
Totally.
Thousand times. Yeah.
Yes. I think the 49ers wanted Mac Jones too. So.
Right. All right. Carolina at Atlanta. Kevin went Atlanta. I'm going Atlanta too. Carolina is just an absolute mess. Didn't they only score 5 points against the Giants last week? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
like,
something like that.
it was like 10-5 or something, or 12-5, something ridiculous.
Horrible.
But Carolina, they're a train wreck right now, and I think they benched Sam Darnold last week too. So
that's not good.
He's starting to show his true colors. Jared, who you going with?
For the record, these last 3 matchups that we picked have been disastrous matchups.
Awful.
I mean, can we think about it? Eagles, Lions,
There's horrible games.
49ers, Bears, and Panthers, and who are we picking right now? The Panthers and Atlanta. Give me a break, man. Come on. Carolina's a disaster. It might be doing something good right now. I'll go Atlanta here. But,
Right.
I mean, as long as Christian McCaffrey is out for Carolina, they're not going to win many games.
I agree. They were looking good early on when they started 3-0, but they've lost their last 4. So, Andy, who you going with?
I'm going to go with Atlanta. Actually, they played a little bit better. I'm not saying they're a great team by any means, but I think they're better than the Panthers. They still got some pretty good offensive players. So I'm gonna take the Falcons.
I'm seeing that the Panthers only put up 5 points against the Giants. I think
That says it all right there. That says it all.
Might
Not
be some
good.
high school teams better than the Panthers. Miami at Buffalo. Is anyone going to dare and take?
No, Buffalo by 1 million here.
Oh, this game is not even going to be close. I mean, Buffalo is going to roll. They're coming off a bye. The Dolphins are a disaster. And I hate to say it, but I think Brian Flores is losing the team. It just does not look good.
I agree.
No. Yeah, we're Buffalo across the board on that.
Halloween in Buffalo, like, oh my God, forget it.
And imagine how mad Buffalo is too, coming off that loss against Tennessee.
They're going to just take it out on the Dolphins. Yeah.
I think this might be like a 50-10 kind of game.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to wait on New England as we get into the 4:00 games. Jacksonville at Seattle. This is interesting because there's a lot of injuries here. Kevin is going Seattle. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle here. I don't know. After watching the game last night, Geno Smith has looked decent. I mean, he made a good throw to DK Metcalf last night along the sidelines for the touchdown. But their offense is stagnant. I don't know. I mean, Jacksonville, I don't know. I think I got to go. I'm going. Maybe I want to go Jacksonville here. Because Seattle's offense after that first drive last night looked terrible. No, I'll go Seattle. I don't know. Give me Seattle, but it's a weird one.
Well, you might be happy or you might not be, but I'm going Jacksonville, baby. I think it's going to be the Trevor Lawrence coming out party.
Love it.
Seattle,
Love it.
Geno Smith, I don't have a lot of faith in him. He couldn't get anything going last night. He does have Metcalf, but Seattle's a little beat up. Jacksonville's off the bye. I think it's a good week for an upset win by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's a good pick. That is a good pick.
Andy, who you going with?
I'm still going to take Seattle just because they're at home. I still can't buy into Jacksonville. Like they're going from east to west. Yeah, they are coming off the bye, but Seattle is still really tough to beat at home. But I think this actually might be kind of a competitive game.
Oh yeah,
it does seem like a little bit of a weird matchup. Now, if Russell Wilson's in there, then I don't think Jacksonville's got a chance. But yeah, this might be like a 17-14 game. But I think the Seahawks pull it out.
Wait, is Wilson playing? Is there even a chance?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No, he's not.
Yeah, if it was Russell Wilson, I would totally go Seattle. I don't have a lot of faith in Geno Smith. He did have a couple good connections last night. It was a defensive affair against New Orleans, but he's nothing special. And Seattle has a lot of injured running backs right now. All right. Washington football team at Denver. Kevin's going Denver. I'm going Washington football team because I think Denver's an absolute train wreck. Andy, who you going with?
Oh my God, these two teams are just not going in the right
Another
direction
one.
whatsoever.
Jesus, man.
Listen, though, I mean, the Broncos did play pretty well against Cleveland. They still got a pretty good defense. You got to love Von Miller. He's a great player. I mean, but Washington, what a huge disappointment they've been this year. They can't get anything going. And I am going to take the Broncos, but I think this is going to be another ugly game. I not going to be a lot of offense. Like maybe this might be like a 14-10 game, but I am going to take the Broncos.
It's going to be 11-9.
11-9. Yeah.
Jared, who are you going with?
Who'd you take, Tom? Did you take Denver?
I took Washington.
Yeah, I'm going Denver then. Whatever. I'm going to try to get a game on you here. I have no reason for picking Denver, but I'm just going to try to get a game on you here.
3 potentials this week.
There you go.
There could be
What an awful game. Good Lord.
Yeah, this is not going to be it. You watch though, it's going to end up being like 45, like 38, like the game that you would think of.
Game
some
of the
reason,
week.
there'll be all
It's gonna be
kinds
the game of the
of
week.
offense.
Yeah.
All right, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. I wasn't sold on what I saw from New Orleans last week, and Tampa Bay just looks unstoppable. I'm going Tampa. Is anyone taking the Saints?
No, and you will never ever get me to pick Jameis Winston over Tom Brady in a game. No shot.
Yep, absolutely.
Tampa rolls.
Tampa across the board.
Alvin Kamara was immense last night in the passing game, though. That dude is good, man.
Oh, he's
He
amazing.
had like 9 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown last night. The guy is ridiculous.
No, he is. But
He's their entire offense right now, though.
Tampa's just rolling. They're on another level. I mean,
Yeah, Tampa all the way.
Oh, yeah. And we'll save New England Chargers for last. That's in the 4:00 time frame as well. So we'll skip down to Sunday Night Football. Dallas at Minnesota. I just think Dallas is too good for this Minnesota team. Give me the Cowboys. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going Dallas. Dallas is too good. You're right. Too much talent. Minnesota's been too iffy this year. Dallas rolling. Dallas.
Wow, Kevin's going Minnesota.
ooh,
That's spicy. That's very spicy.
well, Minnesota is pretty good at home, but I think Dallas is just too good. Their offense is so good. Although I think they are a bunch of boneheads at times. They just the Vikings. You just never know what you're going to get out of them. You know, you never know. But no, the Dallas pulls away in this one.
All right. Monday Night Football. What a doozy this one is. Giants at the Chiefs. Is anyone going to go Giants?
Lord.
You know, I actually almost considered taking the Giants, but I am going Kansas
Dare
City
ya.
because Kansas City looks awful right now. They are lost, but if they don't win this game, then you got some serious problems. But no,
Yeah. They better win this game.
Yeah.
no,
You don't win this, you're not even going to make the playoffs at that point.
yeah, no, but I still think they win this game. But the Giants are still not a good team. I mean, and it's
No.
at home.
They
I think the Chiefs. I think they roll this.
Denver or Carolina, big deal. Carolina is a train wreck right now, and everyone's hurt.
Yeah.
Jared. You
Yeah,
go.
I'm going with wait, who did we just say? We have the Giants. Oh yeah, I'm going with Kansas City. Again, if the Kansas City can't win this game, they don't deserve to win another game. Again, I know if you're the Giants, you beat Carolina. Carolina stinks right now.
No.
Give me the Chiefs.
You sure you don't?
I think the Chiefs are going to win by 1,000, but they might win by 10. I don't know.
You
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, is what I'm saying. I think the Giants will keep it somewhat close, but I like the Chiefs here.
You sure you don't want to try to pick up a game on me?
I don't. No. This is one where I don't. No.
You're gonna be
All
kicking
right.
yourself, Jared, if the Giants win. You know?
I sure am. I sure am.
All right. Going back to.
Wait, Tom, who are you picking? You picking the Chiefs?
Oh, yeah. Chiefs.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I got no faith in the Giants. They beat
Okay.
a torn apart Carolina team. I'm not sold. New England at the Chargers. Kevin is going Chargers. And Andy, who are you going with?
I am going to take the Chargers, but I think the Patriots are going to give them a game. I don't think they're going to get blown out. This Patriots team really does not get blown out much, guys. Let's really face it. I mean, I think they're going to be in there. The Chargers are still a team. They turn over the ball sometimes. They don't play right. I mean, Justin Herbert, very good quarterback, no doubt about it. But he has struggled a little bit against this team. I just think their offense is just too powerful. This Patriots defense is still not convincing me that they can make stops, especially in the secondary. Jonathan Jones out for the year, huge loss. And I just think they're going to have trouble. But I think they're going to keep it close. But I think the Chargers are going to pull it out.
All right, Jared.
I'm going Chargers here. If the Chargers were not coming off a bye, I would be very, very, very tempted to take the Patriots. But coming off a bye, they're going to have more time to prepare. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be fired up after getting smashed by the Ravens. And again, I think this is a bit of a different Chargers team than we've seen in the past. I know the Patriots struggled against the Chargers, or had success against the Chargers. But I think this Chargers team is different. I think Herbert's playing well. Mike Williams is playing really well. Austin Eckler is dangerous at the running back position. A little too much, but I agree with Andy. I think Patriots do keep it close. And again, if the Chargers played this past week, I'd be very, very tempted to take the Patriots, but I'm going to take the Chargers here.
You're going to have to get turnovers. You're going to get turnovers in this game. I think that could be the difference. If the Patriots are able to turn it over, do well in special teams, could be a different game.
Come on, Tom, take the Patriots. Go for it.
I really thought about it. I did, because I've part of me was saying that maybe this is the game they show they're for real. Maybe, this is the one. But then, like you, I realized the Chargers had a bye week last week, and they get to play in the comforts of their own home stadium. I do think it's going to be a really close game. I think this is going to be a very back and forth game. I think potentially a high scoring game. The Chargers are also very mad after getting blown out by Baltimore a couple weeks ago. So I think they're going to be taking a lot of their anger out on the Pats. And yeah, I mean, Jonathan Jones out for the season. That's a big loss. And this Patriots defense has just been too questionable for me to pick them over a Chargers offense that puts up a lot of points. Until the defense can prove that they can shut down a good team, I mean, they did pretty well against Tampa, but besides that, I can't really point out another game. I got to go Chargers here. So give me the Chargers on this one, although, of course, I will be rooting for the Patriots. I hope I'm wrong.
Now I really hope the Patriots win since we all took the Chargers.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, Steve's probably going to take New England because he's a homer.
Yeah, he will. He'll probably take the Patriots.
But yeah, I mean, this is an important game, and I just want to. I hope they win, but I at least want to see something here. I want to see them defend a good offense well. Can they do that? Are they capable of it? They haven't shown that yet. Play this team hard, keep it close, defend well, don't give up big plays. And if you can win this game, that is huge. That is enormous, because then you're 4-4, you're at 500, and you got a number of questionable opponents coming up that you should beat most of. So this is a really big game for the Pats. And if this is a Chargers blowout win, I'm not going to be very happy. I can tell you that.
No.
All right, we got a few minutes left, guys. Any final thoughts or anything you want to mention?
Little concerned at how many players, coaches, whatever, are testing positive for COVID in the NFL. Not good. Bears have had a lot of COVID issues right now. Obviously, Devontae Adams now testing positive for COVID. Definitely a little concerning. Probably something to watch out for. I'm pretty sure Matt Nagy, the Bears coach, tested positive, and a bunch of their other guys. Definitely something to keep an eye on, I think, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good point, Jared, because now, we're getting into the end of October, getting into November, and, things are going to start moving back inside. I've already heard some rumblings going around that there's still going to be high schools that are not going to allow spectators for the winter season. I didn't hear specifically in this area, but it's already being talked about. So that was a little surprising to me. So this is probably still going to be a very unique winter that we're going to have here. So I think you're right. I think we got to still keep our eyes on it, although it does look better. But still, I was a little caught off guard at that. I'm like, wow, so this is still prevalent.
Oh, yeah. Because the last thing you want is an outbreak going around to high school again and getting into that whole situation where you got to shut down schools and go back to remote classes. I'm hoping that most schools do not ban spectators. I feel awful for parents and family and friends that can't go watch one of their family members or friends play the game that they love. I hate that. Obviously, there's resources like cable access stations and radio stations and stuff like that. But of course, nothing beats being at the game if you're there to watch your son or daughter play. So hopefully everything will be pretty normal this winter. I'd imagine there'll probably be mask requirements in most places, but hopefully we could have a normal winter season. And because last winter season was just weird.
Was.
I mean, it was good that some of the spectators got to get there. It was limited for most schools. It was like each player got a pass or something, that there are 2 passes they could give out. So hopefully we won't get into that again. But yes, stuff moving inside. Certainly be careful, everybody.
Definitely.
All right.
When is Milford Franklin? Is that next week?
Friday night.
That's this Friday.
This Friday night. Yeah, this is the end of the regular season, and then
Oh, this is the last game. Yeah, because it's week. Yeah, this is week 8, right?
yeah. So then we'll be going into starting playoffs the following week, and we'll see where things go. But there should be some good matchups on the slate. We had Coach Ian Bain and Dale Olson on the Sports Buzz this past weekend previewing the game. Should be a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a great battle, I think. They have historically played a lot of close games. I don't think this one will be any different. I think it's going to go right down to the final second. I've had the opportunity to call some great games between Milford and Franklin, so you guys are in for a doozy Friday night.
If I'm there, Tommy might snag that one this week, which would kind of stink for me, but we'll see. We'll see. I did get to see Lincoln Sudbury real quick this past Friday. That team is elite. That is an elite team. They are ridiculous. I mean, they were playing Wayland. Wayland is D4. As decent as Wayland is, Ellis is just on another level. I've not seen Catholic Memorial this year, but everything that I saw from Lincoln Sudbury, this team can probably play with anybody in the state. Anybody.
Very good.
That is an elite squad. Jim Gerard is an excellent coach. Riley O'Connell is phenomenal quarterback.
The former Hopkinton coach, Jim Gerard's over there. Forgot about that.
And he coached a DS before Hopkinton. He was a DS for a while, back in the day. So
they had a good team this year too, Jared. Dover Sherborne. Very good team.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They played well.
We got to say congratulations to the Ashland Clockers. They clinched the TVL Large title with a big win over Norwood last week.
That was a good win. That was a good win for them.
It certainly was. They're 7-0, sitting pretty. They're a great team too. I think Ashland certainly has a chance to make a lot of noise in the postseason. Norwood also a good team. They'll be in the playoffs as well. They have potential to make some noise. But TVL small, really competitive. Dover Sherborne 6-1. They got Norton standing in their way for the title, who's 6-0, and then you got Medway and Dedham at 4-3, and Millis 3-4, and Bellingham at 3-4. So all of them kind of right in the mix, and the majority of them are ranked in their division. So as of right now, they have a playoff spot, but that could all change with this week's games. So we shall see. For Hopkinton, they'll be at Holliston, and Hopkinton has potential to finish regular season play at 500 if they take down Holliston. They still need some help to get into the playoffs, but with a win, who knows? You never know. The teams in front of you lose, you might sneak in there. But we are out of time. Jared, Andy, thanks so much. This has been HCAM Sports Talk. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.